Hello, and welcome back to Hollow Knight. Last time, we got introduced to the game and managed to get far enough to where we could buy a map and a wayward compass from the map shop right over there. And looking at the map today, there are some places in the bottom right of the Forgotten Crossroads that we have not yet explored. And so my goal today is to start exploring those areas and lighting those things up on the map. And perhaps we will find some more upgrades or some secrets and just kind of go from there. Yeah, I think it's useful whenever you start playing this game or whatever to kind of like give yourself a goal, especially at the beginning of the game. There's always kind of more places to explore, but it can be easy to lose track of the things you know that you need to re-examine. And there will be opportunities, and we'll probably see some today, I expect, of places that you will note that you want to be able to go, but you can't yet reach with your current movement capabilities. And so you might want to make a note of them, just like on a sheet of paper, or, like write some things down so that you can remember to come back there if later on you get some new movement capabilities. Let's see, so for example, I don't know if there's anything up there to actually go and get. But if I had a bigger jump, for example, I might be able to get up to that ledge. But we'll see bigger and better examples of that in the future. Okay, now that I have the Wayward Compass, I open this up. We can see that to the right is a place that I've never explored. And so let's take a peek over in here and see what we find. It's a place that looks like a very different environment than what we've seen before. And here is someone who's humming a little ditty. Oh, bury my mother, pale and slight, bury my father with his eyes shut tight, bury my sisters 2 by 2, and then when you're done, let's bury me too. What a happy song. Mila. Ha ha ha, do you know that one? It's one of my favorites. We can sing it something else if you'd like. You start singing and I'll join in. I bet you have a beautiful singing voice. Ha ha ha. So what are you doing down here? If you came to get wealthy, just look around you. These mines are still bursting with riches. There's plenty for everyone. Just grab a pick and join in. Ha ha ha. And, oh, bury the knight with a broken nail. Bury the priest. Something about a crown? I can't remember the rest of that one. Ha ha ha. Maybe I'll just hum it. I don't know, that this person says a whole lot. But they're just down here to dig for riches, apparently. And possibly going a little crazy. It's hard to tell if they're joyful or crazy. So here's an example of another soul well. We saw one of these before, where basically I can strike it with my nail and it will kind of fill up my soul that I can use for my healing spell. And I automatically just start moving up and down when I step on this elevator. We'll see a few elevators in this game, and so those are quite convenient. And if we travel further over here, looks like the floor here is very shaky, but jumping on it or trying to strike it with my nail doesn't actually do anything. And so once again, this game is a metroidvania, and you might guess that perhaps at some point in the future we'll gain the ability to do some kind of ground slam maneuver or something, where we can strike the ground below us with great force, and perhaps that would allow us to move in a different direction over there. And if that's what you guess, you might be right. You'll have to play or watch to find out. But in any case, it doesn't seem like there's anywhere else over there that we can go. So we will continue. You'll notice that nothing appears on my map over there yet. Recall that even though we have a quill to update the map, we can only update the map when we actually sit at a bench. So until the next time we sit at a bench, we won't see any changes to the map, despite the fact that we've actually, explored a little bit more of the area. And so that's one of the things that makes this game challenging, especially at the early onset when you're still trying to learn your way around. Okay, and we can come down here, but it seems like we are trapped right here, and below us there's some kind of switch, but it seems like we'll have to enter that area from a different direction. And if we look around, we can see that we could go around in a circle through some of the areas that we've explored before. Oh, ouch. Or we can get hit by stalactites. You'll notice that a piece of coin, a piece of geo, fell down into the spikes down there, and when coins fall down into spikes like that, they will be irretrievable, at least for now. So I won't be able to get those. So I think all of these are enemy types, ouch, that we have encountered before. Oh gosh, and I'm doing a really awful job at fighting them right now. Fortunately, I can use my healing spell to heal back up. But yeah, I'm going to try to travel down in a circle so that we can explore some new places a little bit further down, and then try to come back up to that same little intersection that I was at last time, so that hopefully it looks like we can kind of unlock it from the other side, so that we'll be able to travel around more freely. As you might be able to guess, both from the name of the area, which is the Forgotten Crossroads, as well as the fact that it's just kind of like the beginning area that comes out of the town of Dirtmouth, this will be an area that will be kind of retraversing and revisiting a lot during the game. Oops, I think I hit my head on something over here. I want to go up here because I see a pile of geo that I failed to get previously. And we definitely want lots of money, because you'll recall that there were a number of things that Zelda was selling in the shop. And actually, I don't even know that I looked at what all they were last time, but they are things that will be valuable to buy. And if we happen to make our way to a new area, if we happen to go outside of the Forgotten Crossroads, we might need money to buy a new map of the new area from Cornifer. One thing you'll notice is that your weapon can actually strike enemies through floors and ceilings, if the floors and ceilings are narrow enough, and so that was an example that I was just showing off of hitting an enemy who was kind of on the floor below me. And I'll show it the other way around as well. So up here, I can hit this guy through the floor in order to attack him through kind of a thin wall like that. And so that's a useful technique that may help you out. For these easy enemies, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but there'll be more difficult enemies in the future, where knowing an attack like that can be very valuable. And so I want to go down and right and try to circle around. There's Cornifer again, still working on his maps, but we've already bought a map of this area, so we don't need to talk to him right now. And is this the way I want to go? Yes. I want to go over here, and then down, and then right. So this sign, that looks kind of like a guy with steam coming off of him, you'll recall we saw last time, and I can actually go peek up again in there. There was a hot spring, and the hot spring will allow you to refresh both your health as well as your soul. Something I didn't do last time over here at the hot spring. There's also a bench, and so you can also sit on the bench and update the map. And so if we update the map now, and I take a look at it, on the right side, you'll see that there's one more cavern scribbled in that we explored. And yeah, unfortunately you can't see a mouse cursor or something, and so I can't actually point at it on the screen. One thing I found frustrating while watching other people's playthroughs of this game is the fact that, especially if they're blind playthroughs, you will spend a bit of time kind of looking at the map in order to try to discern where you are and where you're going. But without any kind of mouse cursor or pointer or whatever, it can be difficult to know where the Let's Player is actually currently pointing or looking on the map. And I don't know, yeah, really kind of any... Oops, okay, that was dangerous, but I wanted that geo. Need all the coins I can get. Yeah, that was something I sometimes found frustrating while watching other people. I don't know that I have a good way to mitigate it, other than I'll try not to spend a whole lot of time looking at the map and talking and saying, now we need to go right and left, when it's not clear where it is that I'm talking about. And the good news is, since I do know the areas already, yeah, hopefully I will need less navigational aid. So I don't think I am able to jump up high enough to get over there. It might have been the case that I could jump up there from the left-hand side, but you can see where my icon is on the map, and we're just about to the point to where I can circle back around up to where it dead-ended before. Here's a new sign that's pointing up and to the right, so it seems like there could be something interesting to explore over there. And here's that same sign again, that now seems to be right over here. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. That is a place that we definitely want to check out and will be one of the more interesting things, both in the short run and the long run. I really want these coins, though. I'm so greedy. Took damage just to get one of them. I think another one fell further below, but now I'm also lazy. It's a competition between the two things, the greedy and the lazy. All right, but if we circle back up here, ooh. And I might have just heard something, and you guys might have just heard something too. I need to work on the audio balance, because this game has lots of good sounds, but also lots of subtle sounds. So I want you to be able to hear me over the game sounds, but I also want you to be able to hear various things. if I hit the switch, those doors above us just unlocked. So now I'll be able to kind of travel around in a circle up that way. And so next time, if I'm coming down that way, I'll be able to do it. So let's listen over here. Do you hear that? Sounds like it's coming from right over here. And sure enough, if I hit this wall, you'll notice it giving way. And there's a secret. There are many, many secrets hidden in this game. I would guess something like 1 in every 2 or 3 rooms has some kind of secret like that. So be looking for them everywhere. But in any case, there is a grub hidden over here. And in this case, the cue to find him is this, that you could hear his little calls. He's so sad. And then he gets happy when you come over to visit him. Hooray! Alright, so we saved another grub, which means we'll get another little reward from the grub father once we go visit him. But let's now return to this thing with the sign, because this will be very important. What does that sign refer to? Let's head over this way. First, there's a bench, so it's always nice to have a chance to rest and update our map. We can see the places that we filled in over on the right over here. And there's something to inspect here. We'll see these a lot as well. A toll machine with the symbol of a stag. Insert geo. We'll say yes. This is something else to spend geo on. There'll be a variety of toll machines throughout the game, and they're almost always worth spending money on. So there's a bell. We can ring the bell. Haha! Look at this crazy guy. The last stag. Greetings, little one. It's been an age since I last heard the ringing of a station bell. It echoed down the stagways and called me to you. I've grown stiff and tired over these many years, and I've forgotten much, but the sound of the bell will always call me back. These stagways stretch the depths of Hallownest. If you want to travel them, hail me from the platform. I will take you where you need to go. And so, stagways, Forgotten Crossroads, and Dirtmouth. And so, let's go to Dirtmouth, and we can see just how this goes. This is an awesome animation here. Alright, so the stags are basically the fast travel system in the game, or one of them. So this brings us here to Dirtmouth. And so we can always talk to him at this little thing in order to travel to various stagways that we found in the game. But you can also step down here and just like talk to him like a person or another bug. This place, we are near the surface, I believe. There is a town here. You should take the opportunity to rest. This place was once full of travelers coming and going. It seems much quieter now. So basically, when you talk to the stag at different stations, he'll have different things to say and help kind of uncover more of the lore of the area. There's a switch over here, and if I hit the switch, it opens the door. We'll see that a bit. So hit a switch, unlock a door, and look at where we are. We're back in Dirtmouth, and so we've unlocked the Stag Station. And if we talk to Elderbug, I never thought I'd see such a thing. The Stag Station is opened. That building lay silent, since before even my time. Oh, I've heard the tales of the glorious lines, a web of tunnels running all throughout the kingdom. Now, not that I'll be traveling them, mind you. I'm quite content where I am. He's definitely a stay-put kind of guy. But basically, this will give us fast travel around the world. And I do want to continue exploring the world, and so we'll head back down here and ride the stag back to the other station. And I'm also going to talk to him at the other station to see what he says about the Stag Station at the Forgotten Crossroads. So we'll travel back there. But then we'll also inspect the sign that was at the doorway, because it'll be an important thing to kind of look out for. So if we talk to him down here, it was a long time ago, but I remember when these highways and crossroads pulsed with life. These are the paths I first carried passengers through when I was young. Those travelers are long gone, yet still I remain. Now it seems it's just you and I, and the furtive creatures scratching and squirming all around us. Alright, so I'm actually going to rest at the bench here. And that's just to reset as a checkpoint, so if I do die, like the next time I'll be down here, and the most likely place that I would die is kind of exploring out in these areas. So this little sign, that's kind of like a picture of his head, a picture of a stag. That's how you'll know you find stagways out in the world. There are a variety of ways that I could potentially go at this point, but the one that's sketched out on Corner's map is up and left of where I currently am on the map. So let's try to fill out that area of Cornifer's sketch as the next place to go. just because it seems as good as any, but there were lots of ways to the right and further down it looked like that I could also go to explore. So what do we have over here? I guess I'll start... Oh, it's another one of these guys, okay. We fought this guy before. Oop, ouch, okay. And did he just do 2 damage to me? I think he might have. Yikes, okay. And I think even up here, it did give me an opportunity to heal. Okay, this is not a great place to try to fight him. So let's see if I can goad him back to the left, or I guess I'll just take a risk and go over here. Okay. Avoid his ground slams. Relatively straightforward. As we get more, maneuverability and movement upgrades, the various enemies that we need to fight will also become more challenging. Okay, this guy gives a lot of geo. 45 geo for killing him. See in the upper left. So he's definitely worthwhile to fight, as opposed to just avoid. But yes, enemies will have more attacks and become more challenging and different things. Background scenery is so satisfying to destroy in this game. Oops, hey. You need to die. You notice each time you get hit, in addition to the animation on the screen, the audio kind of like goes silent for a moment. It's kind of interesting, but it makes it very easy to tell when you take damage. It's kind of everything goes quiet for a moment. And I am still exploring. Yes. Okay. There's like a big face in this room that I'm coming into now here. What do we think we'll find? Well, there's a closed door over there. And up here, more place to explore. Okay, a little bug. You're no problem. Seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Oops. All right, let's heal back up. Finish you off. Aha! False Knight. Okay. I mentioned that there'll be a variety. Yikes. Okay. Of boss battles that come somewhat by surprise. There are various clues from the environment and the music that will sometimes suggest that you're about to get into a boss battle. But sometimes they just come. This guy is weird in a variety of ways. But despite the fact that he's very big, okay, he does have some interesting attacks. I have a moment to heal here, so I'm going to heal back up. Yikes, okay. And as you can also imagine with the boss, after I managed to knock him down and hit him in the face a few times, now he's kind of moved into the second phase where he has more powerful attacks, where now there's like fiery rocks that are falling from the sky. Most of the bosses kind of have 3 phases, I think, that you will fight. Oops, ouch. Alright, I walked right into that. Let's heal up for a moment. Darn it. Okay. I need to be careful. Okay, I have a moment to heal, but I don't have any soul to heal with. There we go, I can heal once now. While this guy is down, I can heal back up. One thing that will be challenging in the boss battles especially is there's not often a lot of room to heal. There's not often a lot of slow moments, ouch, where you get a chance to be able to heal yourself. And so the boss battles are often... Oh, you saw I just parried one of the fire things over here. I think I can actually knock it into him. I'm not sure that I ever knew that before, actually. Alright, I'm going to try to heal again for a moment. Oh, boy. Okay, managed to avoid it. Shoot. Okay, managed to run underneath him. Great. Great. Okay, doing good. Alright. Alright, he's still alive. Gotta keep hitting him. Ouch, 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 ouch. Oh, oh, gosh. Now he's gone completely mad. Oh! But apparently that was his dying throws. Alright, and he just fell down here, and it looks like the only thing I can do is fall down here. And now do we get a chance to finish him off? Yes. Alright, I can heal. And what is this? City Crest. Alright, and if we look at our inventory, assuming I can find the inventory screen over here, there's our charm notches. Here we go. Here's our inventory. City Crest. Stone slab bearing the crest of Hallownest capital city. Has an insert on the back that would fit into a slot. Oh! Something is moving. What is it? What are you? I don't know that I've encountered this thing before, honestly. If you start crawling again, you just run off screen. I don't know what that thing was. That might have been some kind of secret that I haven't encountered before. Alright, but we killed this boss. And yeah, the boss battles are sometimes a little bit unexpected. Yeah, and I guess there's no way for me to get across here anymore. But it did unlock, this gate had closed originally, and so what did it unlock over here? Wow! Mountains of Geo. That is great. I have not died yet to show off what happens when you die, but dying is one of the ways that you could potentially lose your Geo. And so when you have as much Geo as I do, 367, this would be a good opportunity to try to spend it. It's not on Cornifer's sketch, but we can go further to the left. So let's go further to the left and see if possibly that's a way to circle back around, to get back around to places that we've already been on the map and fill out more of the map that Cornifer hadn't drawn in. Let's see. There's a switch over here. That looks like it's unlocking a door. It does look like there's something above me, but for right now, since I said I have all this Geo, the prudent thing to do would be to try to go spend it. What is this? Sorry I missed you. If you're feeling lost, why not pop up to our store in Dirtmouth and purchase a map at this area. Available now for an excellent price. Cornifer. And so basically, if you see Cornifer in a place and you don't buy his map, you'll have the opportunity to buy it later back up in the shop after Cornifer moves on. And so he leaves his calling card behind as a little reminder. And so that's an example of Cornifer's calling card. Alright, but we fought... What was his name? False Knight? I forgot already what his name was. But basically, he was some kind of little maggoty worm guy who was in a giant suit of armor. And was still a somewhat challenging boss, especially at the beginning of the game. Alright, but I'm going to head back up to Dirtmouth. And we shall try to spend all the money that we have. Actually, you know what? I'll get even more money if, while I'm heading back up here, I take a moment to stop by the Grub Father, because I've rescued at least one new grub. Might have been a couple, I don't remember. Yeah, there's one over there too. Alright, and so he showers me with Geo for having saved some grubs. Thank you. Alright, and so there's another 90 Geo, looks like I just got from that. So I'm up to 467. And so that's great, because there were a number of other things in a Zelda's map shop up here. Oops, that I could buy if I can get back up there. And so let's head back up there, try to buy some of those things. And yeah, in general, I recommend spending money when you have the opportunity. It is the case sometimes that there'll be things that you'll want to kind of like save up for that are expensive. But the dangers, especially if you're new to the game, you might find that you lose Geo when you die, and eventually I will die and we'll show off exactly what happens there and learn about the mechanics. But it's a risk to carry around tons of Geo. Alright, so the other thing she is selling is a variety of pins. And so, for example, bench pins. These pins will mark benches and other rest spots on your map. Useful if you're exhausted and just need to find somewhere to sit. And so basically, we can purchase a pin, and if I go update the map, I guess the map immediately updates when we purchase the bench pin. So it shows that there's a bench here in Dirtmouth, and we've seen another one over in the Forgotten Springs, or sorry, in the Hot Springs in Forgotten Crossroads, as well as one over in the Stag Station. And so those two places are also marked with a bench on the map. And so those are very useful, and there's a variety of pins that you can get to mark different things that you've seen. The vendor pin is going to be especially useful, so you know where shops are. And the Stagway pin is also going to be super useful to know where the Stagways are. The other pins that she is selling right now, the Cocoon pin and the Hot Springs, we have seen a Hot Springs, and we did see a Cocoon back in the first episode, like back in the starting area where we killed the little blue things in order to get some temporary lifeblood hearts. But those pins are not necessarily quite as valuable. I guess since I do have the money, though, and I recommend spending money when you have it, I'm going to go ahead and buy the Cocoon pin. But I would say that those are less of a priority at the beginning of the game to go after. So that was useful. And from here, if we take a look at the map once again, if I take a look at the big map and scroll around, You'll see, by the way, that basically there's the map shop that's showing up in kind of orange-red up here in Dirtmouth, and then the Grubfather, I guess, is called the vendor on the map, which is showing in the kind of upper left of the Forgotten Crossroads. But in any case, what I meant to show off, on the map is that there are many places to go kind of to the right from the Forgotten Crossroads that are near the Stag Station, and so I think that'll be the next good place to explore. And so let's head down through the Stag Station to the Stag Station of the Forgotten Crossroads. If the stag isn't here, we just ring the bell, and he'll come to carry us, because he's very loyal that way. So we'll head to the Forgotten Crossroads, and we'll do some exploring. It looked like to the right and down and to the right, and there might have also been like down and to the left. I don't remember exactly what all the ways available were on the map. I'm gonna rest at the bench so that if I do die, I will respawn nearby to where I am fighting and dying, presumably. And yeah, still killing bad guys in order to get all the geos, because there's still at least one thing that I can buy from a Zelda shop. And as we've seen out in the world, we could run into Cornifer, we could run into a toll booth in order to pay to open up another Stagway, and there's a variety of other things that we might need our geo for. Alright, here's a new bad guy. Ooh. Who has a shield and kind of like strikes 3 times. He's a little bit weaker. He sometimes uses his shield above, but there often are going to be Oops. I don't think I've ever seen that before. He just like walked into the wall and disappeared. I think that is a bug. It's funny, I've seen in other people's playthroughs of this game that I've watched on YouTube, I've seen people encounter a number of bugs. The game has... I didn't start playing it until much later, and the game has gone through... Oh crap, I'm gonna die if I... Let's focus on fighting for a moment rather than talking about little bugs in the game. Little bugs in the game. It's a game about little bugs. Haha, get it? Insects? Yeah, I've seen people encounter a number of minor bugs in the game, kind of like that one, where the guy, I think, just like walked into the wall and disappeared. I'd never seen any myself in my previous like 30-hour playthrough. That was the first time I've ever seen something weird happen. Okay, this looks challenging to get the geo over there, but let's give it a shot. Yeah, it's doable. One thing that I don't know that I've really called out is you'll notice if I strike the geo, I'm just gonna use my weapon. I get knocked back. Pretty much every time you strike something, you kind of like get knocked back a little ways. And so that's a perhaps non-obvious aspect of the kind of like movement that you need to get used to when you're playing the game. Let's heal up for a second. This guy's interesting because since he spawns like little baby bugs, the baby bugs are effectively a way that you can just, they're extra enemies to strike with your nail to kind of refill your soul. And so if you're low on soul and one of these guys is around, you can just let him... Oops. Okay, I've fallen very far down without meaning to. I could go down even further. You can kill a bunch of his little babies, which are easy to kill, in order to kind of like fill up your soul. And then heal up and then fill your soul well back up. So if you're low on soul, this enemy is one who can actually be valuable because he's relatively easy to fight. And he'll spawn a bunch of tiny little bad guys that you can use to fill up your soul well. And he gives a fair amount of geo as well, of course. If I'm going to say that they're easy to fight, then I should not be dying to them. So let's try to fight a little bit better. And I guess since I've ended up at the bottom of this area, I guess we'll go down since there's... Oops. There was one more little baby bug, and I died to the last one. I feel so foolish. So yeah, when you kill the big guys, they like explode into like 2 more babies, and I'd forgotten about it. Since I guess we haven't explored down here, and this is a new way to go, we'll explore down here. We are like off the map at this point, and so the next time we sit at a bench, we'll be kind of writing some more things into the map. Ooh, what do you think this guy is? Looks like he could be a boss, doesn't he? Kind of in a little boss arena here. How do you think I wake him up? Aha! The Gruz Mother. Okay. And so, all of a sudden, it will do kind of a flying melee attack into you. Oh gosh. And it can do that as well. This is an opportunity to heal, actually. So let's take it. And we've got some boss music going on here. Alright, I have another opportunity to heal. And let's try to run underneath. Great. I find that in various boss and arena battles, I often like to take things slowly and play kind of defensively. Other people have different kind of playing styles, and so you can succeed, especially in some of these early bosses, with a variety of different play styles because they're not too difficult. But this game, it does have some boss battles that you may find frustrating or punishing, and so be prepared. Alright, but that one wasn't too bad. Oh, except it was called a Gruz Mother, wasn't it? And I still seem to be locked in. What do you suppose will happen next? Alright, lots of baby bad guys. Okay, so fortunately these guys just wander around aimlessly. They don't actually try to attack the player. We've seen these guys in the big room of the Forgotten Crossroads that's by the Grub Father or whatever. And once we've defeated all of them, we get an exit out of here. You can look down. It's a little ways down, but let's go ahead and explore. There's always going to be some kind of way back. And I hear someone up there. There's some kind of house up there, but I can't actually jump up there yet. Which is a shame, because I would like to go up there. And I don't even think there's any flying enemies that I could try to get a jump over, necessarily. Try to, like, pogo on to get up there. So I think for now, we'll just have to leave that behind. But there's someplace we can go in here. Who is this guy? And he's got, like, orange particles coming out of his eyes. Oh. Oro, you oaf. You wield your nail like a club. Esme, how much deeper do we have to go? He seems to be in some sort of trance. Oh, the orange lights have cleared off of his eyes. What? Who are you? I see, this old village. What a strange dream to have led me down here. If you hadn't found me, I don't think I would have ever woken. Sounds a bit like what Elderbug was saying about people being drawn down here for unknown reasons. And then getting trapped. I'm Sly. Usually, I live an uneventful life up in Dirtmouth. In these ruins, the air in these ruins doesn't agree with me, so I'd best be getting back. We hear a lot of people talking about the air down here as well. If you return above, come and see me. I'm probably the friendliest face there, and I can thank you properly for your good deed. Aha! Now we have a reason to return to Dirtmouth. You're exploring, then? Very brave. Plenty of courageous wanderers have been lost to the hungers of these old caverns. Sounds like you almost were, Sly. You have your nail, though, and I can tell just by looking at you that you know how to wield it. I see. He appreciates a bug with a good nail. Alright, and now we're out of conversation options. So, it sounds like Sly will be returning to Dirtmouth, and we'll be able to visit him there in the future, so that's great. And over here, there's some other houses, but don't seem to be doorways that are open. Because I always like to get money. Let's go ahead and kill this guy. Or, you know, let him try to kill me. Either way, it's all good. And so here's our way back. You'll see those kind of wooden planks holding up an area as a variety of kind of return shortcut kind of things that you can open when progressing. That'll be kind of a recurring thing throughout this game, as well as recurring through, I don't know, many of these kind of metroidvania style games. Alright, so if we take a look at the map, we're kind of back on the map right now. I notice that there is a soul well up here, but my soul is filled up, and so I don't need it. And I forget... Yeah, you can hear when I get close to it. It kind of like gives off a little roomy noise. And sometimes you'll be able to hear that if it's kind of like hidden in a secret area. So that's another case where the game audio can kind of help you find secrets. But I believe going to the bottom left is somewhere that we haven't gone yet, and so let's try exploring over in this direction and see what we can find. This also looks like a big open area that makes you perhaps a little bit worried that there might be a boss here. But it doesn't seem like it. And there's a sign. The signs and the iconography that's on the signs sometimes are not easy to figure out what's going on. But there's an elevator here, but it seems to be walled in. And there's nothing that we can do to get in for right now. So for now, that's a way that we can't go. But as you might guess, we'll be able to unlock it somehow later on. And the ceiling here is very high, but I don't think I see anything up on the ceiling, and even if I did, I can't reach it just yet. At this point, we have gone a few more directions that are not yet showing on my map. If we go sit at a bench, we'll be able to kind of write in some of the things we've seen on the map. And there is a bench very nearby. We can see it thanks to having bought the bench pin up in the entrance of the Stagway over here. So the next place I plan to go is back up to the Stagway, just so that I can sit on the bench and update the map, and we can see the places that we have gone and the places that we have yet to go. Oops, almost forgot about the two that he spawns, but there is a pile of geo up here. So I'm going to stop to grab that, because money is great. Money is great. I want all the money because money is great. Alright, and right, the Stagway is up this way, and we have already been to the left. Okay, so let's go sit on the bench and see what other ways we have yet to go. And then we'll choose one of them to go explore. Sit on the bench, map updated. And if I bring up the map, actually let's just bring up the map just of this area. So basically, if we go to the right, there were a few side passages kind of in the area to the right of me. So that's the next place that I'm going to go. So yeah, there's kind of two styles of map. One of them you can open up by pressing, I guess it depends on how your controller mapping is set up, but for me it's like left bumper or something. I'm playing with the controller, by the way. You should definitely play this game with the controller, because there's like, I don't know, you know, the directional arrows and then like 8 different buttons to map or whatever with all the different movement upgrades and different things you'll eventually get. And so you'll definitely want a controller, I think. Right, this guy almost wrecked me last time, so I think, rather than fight him right now, I'm just going to go ahead and just pass on by. Even if he does give a fair amount of geo. Just because, yeah, I'm going to play to my strengths. My strengths are not fighting that particular guy. Okay, this is a direction that we haven't gone over here. So yeah, I was starting to say there's 2 different ways you can bring up the map. If you just hold down the button, it will show you the map. And if you double tap the button, it will bring up like the bigger map where you can scroll around the entire world. Okay, so there's a grub up there. And yeah, you might be able to guess what kind of challenge we could try to do here. If I do this, I can like pogo off these things. I really suck at this though, so I'm going to try it once. Oh, I did it! I don't believe it. So the first time I played through this game, I guess I was still getting used to the controls. And so I was not as good, but I think I tried about 20 or 30 times to do that, and I failed every time. But now that I'm much better with controls and, I don't know, much more adept with them or whatever, apparently I'm able to do that, so I'm actually rather proud of myself. So we rescued another grub. So that was in the area to the left. There is also an exit to the right that I have not yet taken. That has some kind of other sign, whose iconography we'll have to try to infer based on what we find over in that direction. Oops, and then perhaps we'll learn how to spot similar signs in the future. But first, there are lots of little bad guys to kill. And actually, I could use a moment to heal. There we go. Back up to full. Now I'll try to finish this guy off. And I'm getting piles of geo again, so that's good. Because there was at least still one more pin to buy at a Zelda's. And, right, we also need to return to Dirtmouth because Sly apparently is going to return to Dirtmouth and said he would have some kind of reward for us as well. So perhaps after we explore this way, we'll head back to Dirtmouth. So this looks kind of like a railroad car. It's kind of like attached to a line above, like a tram. A door with an open slot. But apparently I don't have whatever goes in the slot, and I can actually hop down here. But I don't think there's anything to explore down here. Oh, I was wrong. There's a secret. And you might have heard the little tone. Whenever you kind of explore and find a secret, there's kind of like a boom. That shows you've opened up a secret area. That's another thing that the way they do, I don't know, kind of like the colors and the lighting and the visuals in this game, it's often the case that secrets will just be obscured in darkness until you find them, at which point they kind of light up. Which I think looks really cool and is also, it just makes for nice gameplay. The camera in this game is also interesting because sometimes there'll be like a secret area above you and the camera won't pan up until you've actually explored that secret area before the camera will kind of like even show that there's an area above you. Occasionally the camera interacts in a little bit kind of weird ways. Okay, I'm going to go down to the Stag Way so we can head back to Dirtmouth. But overall, I would say both the camera and the lighting play a big role in both kind of like hiding and finding secrets in this game in a way that's quite interesting in my opinion. Alright, so the stag is here. Let's travel back to Dirtmouth and see if Sly has arrived, since we freed him from the other little village that we found earlier down. And I should also mention, by the way, that the nature of this game, in terms of like being kind of open worldy or whatever, means that you can explore the world in different orders and uncover different upgrades in a different order than I'm doing them right now. Yeah, I guess we'll see more of it, but it's definitely the case that despite the fact that there are some ways that are closed off because, for example, I don't have a high enough jump to get to certain places right now, it is nevertheless the case that there's a variety of paths that you can take through this game. It's not the case that it's as linear as it might seem. Alright, so Sly is apparently over here. Ah, hello, I knew we'd meet again. How do you like my cozy little store? I've made myself pretty comfortable here, selling old trinkets to travelers like yourself. If you're planning a trip below, I have several items that may improve your chance of survival. Alright, and we see Sly's face above the top of this little menu. Mash shard. This old thing, merely a fragment of something larger. Still, maybe something you can make use of. And a vessel fragment. He sells a simple key for $9.50. I don't have that much. Gathering swarm. Do you find yourself leaving a lot of geo behind as you hurry through the caverns? This charm will make sure that any loose change finds your way back to you. Gathering Swarm is going to be super useful, and I think that's going to be the thing I want to buy next. Stalwart Shell. This charm grants you more time to recover after taking damage, basically more invincibility frames. That could also be useful. A lantern for 1800, super expensive. And a rancid egg. I found this under the counter. Some creature must have laid it here while I was stuck down in the ruins. I suppose you could buy it? I won't miss its sour odor. Don't know what that is for yet, do we? But yes, I definitely want the Gathering Swarm, because it is extremely useful. I almost have enough money to purchase it, and so I think I'm going to do a quick run downstairs and kill a few more bad guys, and we'll be able to show off what we can do with the Gathering Swarm. Let's see. And then also when I'm down here, I should take a look, because I know there's still one or two other directions I have not yet gone. But yeah, we should survey kind of like our list of places that we can go next. Oh, and I rescued another grub, actually, and so if I go visit the grub father, then I will definitely have enough money, because he tends to reward us with money. So let's go talk to him. I recently did a triple pogo jump across some spikes. Oh, look at this. It's not money he has this time, though. It is a mask shard. So basically, in the upper left, I currently have 5 masks, which are kind of my life hearts. And we just got a mask shard. If we manage to collect 4 of them, we will get another mask in the upper left, and so it will improve our total life. And indeed, Sly was actually selling one of those. So the good news is, we're working our way towards having more maximum health. The bad news is, I didn't actually get any money from the Grub Father that time, which means I'm still short a few coins from being able to buy the Gathering Swarm. But with 293, it might be the case that just the few enemies that I can fight in this cavern will be enough. As I kind of walk back, we're up to 297, and I know there's a guy down here. Do you want to give me some geo? Yes, you do. 300, perfect. Once you get money, spend it. That is what I will do. Alright, so that's a Zelda shop right there that has the glasses over it. That's the Stag Station, the tall one over here. And then to the left with all the signs over here, this is Sly's. And let's buy the Gathering Swarm. Alright, item purchased. And you'll recall with charms, if we want to actually equip the charms, we have to be sitting at a bench. And so I can sit at the bench over here. And now open up my charms menu. And Gathering Swarm. A swarm will follow the bearer and gather up any loose geo, useful for those who can't bear to leave anything behind, no matter how insignificant. It only takes 1 charm notch. I currently still have 2 free notches on my belt, and so I can equip that, and I can still equip 1 more small charm if I were to get it. And so let's demonstrate now what the Gathering Swarm actually does, because it is pretty great. And it is something that, especially in the early game, when you're trying to gather more geo to buy more things, because Sly obviously had a number of items for sale, including something very expensive, that Lumify Lantern. Oops. I just picked up the geo on my own over here. Let me actually kill something. And not pick up the geo. So there's the geo on the ground. And little flies, little white flies, go and pick up the geo and then fly over to you. And so basically, it's like a coin magnet, but it's like even better than that, because typically in most games, like coin magnet kind of like only works at a certain range, and this works anywhere on the entire screen. And so, for example, I can maybe demonstrate it here. If I kill this guy below me, and the coins fall like down to the bottom of the cavern, they just come flying back up. And so Gathering Swarm is a terrific charm at the beginning of the game, especially in big rooms like this, because you can just focus on killing the enemies, and all the little geo coins that the enemies drop will eventually come flying over to you. It is the case that sometimes you can leave the screen before the swarm has a chance to fly the coins back to you. So if you've just killed an enemy before you're about to leave the screen, make sure that you wait for a moment so that the coins get to you, otherwise you will lose those coins. But apart from that, it's a super useful charm, and so it's one that we will want to wear a whole lot moving forward. And yeah, looking at the map, there was something actually just to the left of here. Actually, hold on, where was that? Yeah, left and up. I feel like I was over there before, and I don't remember if I just turned around, because, yeah, maybe we had other business, and so I didn't feel like exploring that way. But basically there's a way to go to the left, and then to the left of that is somewhere that I haven't gone. Was that here? No, it's actually the one right below me. The one... Yeah, this is the one that I want to go explore. Right. I remember coming in here, and then I think I just turned around for no good reason. Or I don't remember why I turned around in any case. Oh, right, it had the wall jumping section. Now I remember. Okay, we don't have the ability to wall jump, and so we can't go that way. The spikes below, by the way, occasionally you'll be able to knock enemies down into spikes. There isn't like a secret way to get past here, is there? No. Occasionally you can knock the enemies down into spikes, and that will often damage or kill the enemies. So it's occasionally the case, especially when you have Gathering Swarm on, that you won't be actively fighting an enemy, but nevertheless, all of a sudden an enemy will just kind of like, you'll hear an enemy die, and then all of a sudden some coins will fly to you, and it's because an enemy had fallen off of a ledge and like fallen into some spikes below or something like that. And yeah, I don't know that there's anywhere nearby where I'll be able to successfully demonstrate it. What was over here? I don't remember off the top of my head. But sometimes coins will fall onto spikes, and if the coins fall onto spikes, previously we wouldn't be able to get them, but the swarm will be able to get them, and so the little flies will go down into the spikes and pick up the coins and deliver them to you. So that's another way that the Gathering Swarm basically enables you to get coins that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get. And so that's pretty great. And yeah, just while I've been talking about the Gathering Swarm and fighting some easy enemies, I've already managed to gather 55 more coins. So yeah, it's a good way to, if you're just trying to build up some money, fight around some easy enemies without a whole lot of thought of trying to pick up the coins. Alright, so I think I've gone on about that long enough. I'm trying to remember what's a good way to go next. There are still a couple of places a little bit further to the right on the map that we haven't explored, so let's try to do, I guess, one more of those hallways, and then it's probably the case that this episode is already getting long enough. Let's see if I can knock the... There we go. So, there we go. I knocked him down into the spikes, we saw him die, and we saw the Gathering Swarm pick up the coins out of the spikes and bring them back to me. And get a chance to do it again there as well. So hooray, I'm glad that worked out, that I could show it off. Okay, so down and to the right is one more place that I have not gone. So let's explore this, at least a little ways, and then we'll probably call it a day. Oh, So this is a dark area. Yikes! And I got hit by a falling stalactite that I couldn't see coming. So you recall that Sly was selling a Lumafly lantern, and the lantern would light up that area so we'd actually be able to see where we're going. And that would be super useful. It would be very dangerous to explore that area without it. And so we will save that area for a future time after we've had a chance to acquire the lantern. Gonna wait for the coins to come to me. And then from here, yeah, I could just kind of walk back up to Dirtmouth. And so, yeah, I think I'll plan to do that. And next time we'll figure out some other new places to explore that we haven't yet gone. But, yeah, we found a new shopkeeper with Sly, who has lots of more interesting things to sell us. We got a new charm with Gathering Swarm that's going to make it easier to get money. And I forgot if any other amazing things happened. We definitely found at least one little secret area that had some hidden geo over at the tram station. Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing this game so much over the past week before I started Let's Playing it, and now during the LP, that a lot of it kind of runs together in my head. And so I don't remember if we did anything else amazing this episode. But I'm sure we'll do some more amazing things next episode, so... Oh, that's right, we fought the Grub Mother. So we had another kind of boss or mini-boss that we managed to defeat. So that's good. In any case, I hope as always that you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again soon with more Hollow Knight. Bye-bye.